I call to order the Plan Commission meeting of May 25, 2021. Before we proceed with roll call, I would first like to introduce, as it were, we have a new Deputy Clerk, Megan Dunnison, who is in her office, and she is now taking minutes and, among other administrative duties, for the Plan Commission. And also, I would please welcome Catherine Bishop, our new representative from the City Council. Mrs. Bishop has served 5 years as an Army Judge Advocate. In Germany, she was the sole military prosecutor for an American military community of more than 25,000. At her most recent assignment in Fort Bragg, Mrs. Bishop advised Special Forces commanders and staff on administrative, fiscal, and national security law. Accordingly, she reviewed millions of dollars of procurement and expenditure requests. Mrs. Bishop earned her law degree from Mercer University. In 2019, she joined her husband already in Lake Mills. She is a new mother and now works for an investment management firm focused on commercial real estate investments. So we welcome Catherine Bishop. We also have a huge thank you to Mike Foster, who was previously our representative from the council for 7.5 years. I appreciated his steady insight and analysis of the issues that came before us. And both Mike Foster and Catherine Bishop are military veterans of the Marine Corps and Army, respectively. I would like to acknowledge and thank them for their service. And now we can proceed with roll call.
Mr. Holman? Mr. Holman? Mr. Schumacher?
Here.
Mr. Coots? Mr. Coots? Ms. Lazares?
Here.
Mr. Grady?
Here.
Mrs. Bishop?
Here.
All right, thank you. Next, we have item number 3, correction and/or approval of the meeting minutes of March 23, 2021.
Motion to approve.
A motion by Mr. Grady. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Bishop. Any discussion? In that case, we'll proceed with a roll call vote.
Mr. Schumacher?
Aye.
Ms. Lazares?
Aye.
Mr. Grady?
Aye.
Mrs. Bishop?
Abstain.
Aye. Next, item number 4, questions and public comment. The public may address the commission at this time regarding items on the agenda. Unless the item is the subject of a public hearing, we have no public hearing this evening. Public comment may also be made on items that are not on the agenda if you have previously registered with the city clerk. The state's open meeting law discourages action by the commission on items not listed on the agenda. Please keep comments limited to 3 minutes. Sign in your name and address at the podium. Are there any public comments under item number 4 at this time? Are there any public comments at this time? All right, in that case, we'll proceed with item number 5. Discussion and recommendation on Formul Development Drumlin Crossing Condominium Plat. I see we have Dustin Wolf online, and I would call on you, Dustin, to provide the overview on this proposed plat.
Thank you. Dan Drescher, Attorney Drescher, is also on, and he'll probably have some comments related to the declarations. But I'll kick things off. As you may recall, back in late December, early January, the development proposal to redevelop that site was south of the Topol auto place came forward. They proposed a series of townhouses. Plat is to follow up on that. Just a little background, the site's about 1.75 acres. There are 16 units. It was expressed at that time that they were going to be coming forward with a condominium plat in the future. Obviously, we're here now. This property is zoned R3-12, which is our multifamily district, with the planned development district overlay. The lot layout is obviously the same. I did include in the memo just a brief graphic detail from the condominium plat itself that kind of illustrates the typical unit and layout of site, shows what is owned by a unit owner, and then what would be limited common elements. So patio areas and areas around driveways are limited common elements as opposed to the unit footprint itself. Just a reminder that this meets all of our setback requirements except in one area. On the easternmost building only has a 23-foot versus a 25-foot setback. The cul-de-sac that serves this is a private drive. There are a series of easements on the condominium plat for utilities, sanitary sewer, general utilities. These just need to be confirmed by the city engineer and public works staff. My review of the condominium declarations, I'll ask Attorney Drescher to provide his input on that. The declarations are very straightforward. They are focused on responsibilities of unit owners and their association. The declarations do not obligate the city to anything that it's beyond its own ordinances or incapable of providing service for, which is generally what we review the declarations for. We are recommending approval of this because it does comply with section 650-31 of our subdivision regulations, which is what governs condominium plats. Conditioned upon the following, which is any amendments to the declarations as recommended by the city attorney, confirmation of the easements by the city engineer and public works director, and then any technical corrections that may be necessary. With that, I can answer any other questions, or Mr. Drescher can provide some input on the declarations.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wolf. Mr. Drescher, did you have any comments you wanted to add?
I prepared the memo or the motion, and I did review certain administrative documents, including the plat, the bylaws, the declaration, and the articles of incorporation. I find that they're all in good form. I don't believe that they do obligate the city in any way that's unintended at this point. I believe that they conform with the ordinances and state statutes that are applicable. In addition, in the review process with regard to the development, I see this as really a formality. They planned on a condo development the entire way through. This isolates individual units as individual parcels that are saleable with individual addresses, and it's right in line with what their planning was. So I don't see any issues as to why this shouldn't move forward to the council after today's meeting.
All right, thank you, Mr. Drescher. Council, or rather, Plan Commission members, we have before us a prepared motion, as Mr. Drescher described, Plan Commission Motion 21-5-1, condominium plat approval, Drumlin Crossing Townhomes condominium. This motion sets forth the city's authority under Wisconsin state statutes regarding subdivision and condominium platting. The condominium plat requested by Formul Development, Building Site and Operations Review by the city City Council approval of the development site plan and zoning to R312 multifamily with planned development district overlay. City review of the proposed plat, city attorney review of the associated documents, and our plan commission review. This motion does provide a plan commission recommendation to the city council to approve the Drumlin Crossing Townhomes condominium plat. This motion also provides that outside agency review be completed within the required time frame, or such approvals become null and void. This motion to recommend approval is subject to terms and requirements provided in the planner's memo. And Mr. Wolf has listed these first, as he also described. Any amendments as may be recommended by the city attorney to the condominium declarations. 2, confirmation of the proposed easements by the city engineer and public works director. 3, any technical corrections required by the engineer or Jefferson County. Are there any comments, further comments by staff? Any questions by plan commissioners? For a recommendation of condominium plat approval, does anyone wish to make a motion concerning motion 2151?
I motion to approve 25-1.
It's been moved by Mr. Grady. Is there a second? It's been seconded by Mr. Schumacher. Is there discussion? All right, hearing none, then we'll proceed with a roll call vote.
Ms. Lazares,
Aye.
Mr. Grady,
Aye.
Mrs. Bishop,
Aye.
Mr. Schumacher.
Aye.
Motion passed 4-0.
Aye, thank you. Aye. Our next item, number 6, recommendations for future agendas. Is there anything that upcoming that we should be knowing about at this time?
Ms. Lazares?
Yeah,
Dustin Wolf.
Mr. Wolf, yeah.
We anticipate that a proposal for the Bayberry apartment building on Main Street, it has been submitted, and we anticipate that there will be that agenda item. Mr. Drescher may be aware of others. There's nothing else that's jumping out at me right now.
All right, very well.
Yeah, nothing's top of mind right now for me.
All right. All right, very well, thank you. All right. All right, that leaves us to item number 7, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Mrs. Bishop has moved to adjourn. Is there a second?
A
And
second?
a second by, a second, thank you, Mr. Grady. Mr. Schumacher got ahead of you, so Mr. Schumacher gets a second. And so we seconded. All those in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right. It looks we are adjourned.